First of all, thank you so much, everyone, for coming today to the last Team Coaching Circle event for the 2024. We have an amazing host, that is Siobhán Bradley, sorry, that is a co-president in ICF Ireland. She's co-president with Carmen Harney, that she's here today. Carmen will be our guest or Egle guest because Egle is the person that created the circle in Ireland. She will host an interesting event in 2025 and she will talk about supervision and how important is supervision for team coaching. But today, I'm very, very excited to have my president, co-president, that is Siobhán. And before starting, going into interesting breakout room, so I would like to share with you the agenda very quickly. And if you can, so today, what we are going to talk about is, reflection and plan for 2020, for next year. Okay, this is what we want to talk about. But before starting, I would like to go and ask to Siobhán, because she is here and we really thank you for being here today. What do you think are the relationship? What is the team coaching for ICF Ireland?
Thank you, Fabio, and good morning or good afternoon, everybody. Really nice to be here, and thank you for the warm welcome, Fabio and Egle, all the hard work you put in to get us here, I think. And I recognize a number of faces, so maybe I'm looking forward to the conversation with new and newer friends. It's a great question, Fabio. I'm sure many people on the call today have noticed a growth in the interest in team coaching, recognition of it as a discipline, maybe clients calling on their needs, or on their demanding the service and support. And I think the fact that this group itself has grown so exponentially in such a quick period of time suggests there's an appetite and a need for us to be talking more and more about team coaching. So there's certainly something happening out there in the outer environment, where organizations are beginning to look broader than individual coaching, hopefully not to replace individual coaching, but to augment individual coaching. They're beginning to see, or we have an opportunity now to talk to them about the power of team coaching in order to bring about positive work environments that generate greater growth and organizational performance, allow us to talk more about the collective responsibility for organizations. How do we use collective insight to improve the organization together rather than landing everything on individual shoulders? So I think there's a recognition of that and growth in that. And we have an opportunity then as coaches to help shape that kind of conversation and how organizations of all types might engage with team coaching. And as it grows, I think we're at the right time to start thinking about, well, what does team coaching need as in terms to give it structure and support? And very similarly to individual coaching, we've seen in ICF Ireland, as other accrediting bodies have as well, and us as coaches, the growing need to have specialist training and skill sets that allow us to engage with the different disciplines of coaching. So, for example, I'm a conflict coach. I've trained in conflict coaching, which was augmenting the individual coaching training I've done. But team coaching also requires another level of development to allow us to think more deeply about the complexity of a team dynamics and the team issues. And we in ICF Ireland not Ireland, sorry, ICF Global, but of course ICF Ireland we supported, have recognised this specialist need and need to spend time adapting your individual coaching experience into the team dynamics through a specialized team coaching accreditation pathway. So for anybody who's interested in that, there's more information on ICF website, but many here may be already engaging with that and have various amounts of experience. So just, I think similarly to individual coaching, a challenge I think we face as well is making sure there's an understanding with our clientele, with the public, and amongst coaches themselves, the difference between team coaching to other team development supports like facilitation or team building. And like I'm sure many people here, I find even in individual coaching, it can be often confused. Is it mentoring? Is it life coaching? Is it organizational coaching? What is it? So we have an opportunity as well to start at this point in getting clear communications out about what team coaching is and how it can add a benefit to organizations, and that accreditation and well-skilled people are able to provide that support for organizations. So I don't know if that helps answer the question, Fabio. I'm conscious that really today is about getting everybody else into a space of talking about their own experience of team coaching. And I know our first breakout room is really about that, how to bring our own experiences and thoughts into this debate or discussion, as Carol mentioned. So unless, Fabio, anything you wanted to come back at me with on those points, is it a good time to break into the breakout rooms now and discuss these questions? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Say, can you see my screen? Yeah. First of all, thank you so much. You explained very clearly very clear what team coaching is for ICF, how important it is, and accreditation is the ATCT, so accreditation for team coaching. It is very important. So as CTC, so Advanced Certification Team Coaching, is the name of the accreditation for ICF. But what we ask you, we have 10 minutes. I already created the breakout rooms. 10 minutes in talking about what are the insights we have gained about team coaching in 2024, even before if you started earlier. How has your thinking of team coaching shift? Some people maybe are scared, they think they're not good at it, maybe people feel very comfortable. So what can you share in the breakout room? Please, can we ask you to identify a spoken person and try to stay when we come back, maybe in 2 minutes, to give a feedback. So maybe we can listen from different rooms, and maybe we can ask Siobhán to summarize what we have said during the breakout room as reported from you. And then we can have another breakout room in terms of what are our desire for 2025, what we can do as a circle in terms of team coaching circle, in terms of to develop and spread the team coaching verb. So, and the last question is, what have you valued most about this team coaching circle? If you have had the opportunity to stay with us.
You're very welcome. Did you enjoy the conversation together? Thumbs up.
Very much. Yay.
Thanks very much for the feedback. Look, we're going to try between the two breakouts to give each room an opportunity to share. So feel free to put something into chat if there's something on your mind and you're not getting your voice out there. But I'm just going to randomly call on rooms to give us a sense of what came up in the conversation, what insights you've gained in 2024. What has your thinking shifted around team coaching, and what have you valued most in this circle? So maybe looking through, maybe bang in the middle, group number 4. Who's your spokesperson? You're on screen. Charmian, go ahead.
Thank you. Right. So we talked about the insights that we gained is the global nature of team coaching and how easy it is to connect to other coaches, and that we've really kind of found our tribe, that coaches are this special kind of breed that are good at listening, good at connecting, open, and they're always about continuous learning, the humble continuous learning. And this is what's so exciting about being part of this community and being a team coach, is that the journey never ends, and we're excited about learning, and there's a real enthusiasm for coaching, and this makes it easy to connect to other people. And so by engaging with other team coaches, we've kind of strengthened that feeling of, wow, look, it's really fun to be with other coaches, and we can share and grow together and learn and be humble together. And to be honest, we never really got to this valued most about the team coaching circle, because we were so busy sharing our insights about 2024 and the excitement of connecting to other coaches. But I guess it's all part of the same conversation.
So yeah, I mean, by the sense that you've enjoyed being part of this group as part of that connection.
Yes.
And Charmaine, in your group, did you get to talk a bit about what any insights you gained, anything new, or any wow moments, or anything that was shook your thinking as a group around team
Well,
coaching?
we talked about how we sometimes think we're not ready, or that we haven't quite got all the qualifications, or are we really up to this?
Mm,
And that the real that we can be of service and really make an impact without having every last qualification. That really the learning and the impact comes from doing, and that by doing we make a difference, and by doing we grow. So that was one of the insights we had.
super. Thank you so much. I'm going to guess it resonates a bit with the others, but let's just check if anybody else wants to come in on those points and share their own experiences of the conversation. Don't know if anybody wants to jump in, but maybe I'll go to group three. Would that be okay? Anybody from group three want to share
Sure.
your...
So in group
Hi,
three,
Carl.
I was with Brendan and with Sharon and Daniele. We started off with a little bit of an introduction. So going maybe to your last question, what we value about the team coaching circle is the fact that we can network. It's a possible ground to find other co-coaches, perhaps who, if we have the right dynamic, we can support each other. We spoke as well about the difference between remote coaching and in person, or sometimes also a blend. So it was interesting to see the differences and what we have learned. So one maybe learning point that came out was to give the remote coach a bigger role when you have, part of the team is in person, you're meeting in person, and this and the co-coach is remote. So in a nutshell, I think that is some add-on to what Charmaine was saying as well, because there were some similarities as well to what was already said.
Yeah.
But of course, Daniela, Sharon, Brendan, feel free to add anything else.
You've probably done justice to them, Carl, very well, and thank you. I think you brought out also some really interesting angles there, but how the world has changed and how we're all coaching differently. I don't know about others here, but I have to say I've gone from face to face completely to completely virtual coaching, individual coaching, not team coaching. And I think that might be a contributing factor. That's how we all work differently now. Might be a contributing factor to the growth of team coaching. There's definitely, in my experience in organizations, a yearning to reconnect, to stay connected. I think that need we have to socialize and connect with others stays the same, even if we do move to more hybrid or mixed types of environments, working environments. So there's definitely a need to boost that positive working environment, and a lot of organizations are looking at team coaching as a way to do it, which may also sometimes fall into that trap. It's what's team coaching versus team building versus team facilitation. But I've definitely noticed that. I don't know if anybody else has. I see a couple of nodding heads. Great points, and that piece, Charmaine, that you were talking about in your group around that doing versus learning. That's an interesting piece as well. Are we ready to do by having enough pieces of paper and accreditation and training, but how do we learn until we actually do? I think that's a constant balancing act, probably a debate we all have, no matter what discipline we're in. I think in ICF Global and Ireland, of course, we're really trying to promote that we are going in with eyes wide open, with training, with opportunity to reflect and develop and hone skills that are specific to different contexts. So doing well is important, but also capturing well what you're learning from that experience and bringing it into your practice, but bring it back to us as well, about how we can strengthen our support for our members, for coaches, how we can strengthen the thinking around a new and growing discipline like team coaching. That's really important. So we might think about that in the second question as well. Is there ways we can feed some of that back into bigger bodies than the circle here? Fabio, I know we're always under time pressure, but we might have a minute or two for any other final comments before we jump into the next breakout room. Anybody else want to come in on that first question, or you feel your voice is being represented by our two people?
Siobhán, I'm happy just to add, there's a couple of other interesting insights from group 2. Elisabetta, Annabella, and Rebecca were in my group. So journeying in some informally doing the team coaching, some have their formal training in the team coaching, and recognizing, that's a journey to move to accreditation. A very important insight came up was the whole issue of working with a co-coach, a co-team coach. When groups are 6 or more, there's probably some good governance, and we'd love to think about that maybe later in supervision. When is it more appropriate to work with a fellow team coach? We were recognizing in the insight it is a different dynamic. There's certainly more complicated team dynamics going on, and so you need to go in with your eyes and ears very open to that. And it's not quite like therapeutic group work, but there are elements in the training that do certainly look at the whole psychology of team functioning and team behaviours. I loved Rebecca brought a lovely approach called PICO to any team approach, and that's being present, being involved, being curious, and being open and honest. And I really love that anagram. Very importantly, then we talked about what has shifted, and we think the whole appetite and realization that team coaching has a real place, bigger part to play now in larger organizations, and we feel there is a growth curve there. We also were recognizing how often in team coaching, some members in the team will be having one-to-one coaching, and we'd love to explore and think about, should that be by a different coach? Should that be by the same coach? Because we know often one-to-one happens for some team members whilst they're part of a team coaching process. So a lot more, Siobhán, debate, Fabio Egli, around that whole, how do you get that right? How do you know? How do we, tease that out further? I think that was all our main points, but colleagues, please come in if I've missed anything key. Thanks, Siobhán.
Great, brilliant. Thanks, Carl. I mean, I think your group and others have brought up some pertinent questions. There may not always be one right answer, but there's a room for discussion.
Definitely.
And as the discipline grows and evolves, maybe some of those will become more agreed than not. So really important. Yeah, I do see that Mary Louise has raised her hand. I'm conscious that we probably want to all talk about some of these concepts in the next session, but Mary Louise, jump in there.
Just quickly, I just in my group, the reason I'm coming to it is that I'm seeing in areas that are automating, and a lot of automation is coming in and AI is coming, that teaming is becoming an issue as opposed to hierarchy. So people are losing their hierarchical respect and hierarchical power, where they're expected to perform as peers as opposed to superiors or inferiors. So teaming is a new way of working and one of the new methods coming in. So you may not be a member of just one team, you may be a member of multiple teams or part of interacting teams and silos breaking down. And that's why I'm coming to team, because the concept of a team as an entity is changing. It's an organism that you'll move in and out of, and you may be in multiple teams at one time. So it's team behaviors and team cultures as opposed to a team.
Yeah. Mary's and Carmel, you both again raised great points. And actually they overlap, I think, Stephen, with our breakout 2 session conversations. So I think if you could hold some of those thoughts and just tease them out in the group. Fabio might bring up the slides there, but we're going to look, let's do a kind of a bridging. What are we learning from 2024 and how do we need to bring that forward into 2025? So again, those points, what are you noticing about team coaching field in itself from your own experience, whether you're coming at it from, an outside or you're actually a practitioner already? And then as you think about that, what kind of supports do you need as a team coach in 2025? And I think you both have started to surface some of those. So we might, if that's good, we might break out again for
10 minutes.
Fabio. Yeah.
Okay. And then we can wrap up afterwards, and maybe
hope you enjoyed the few minutes you had together. Conscious that for some maybe lunch is looming. For others, you may need to get on with your day. So just love to hear what came up in general terms in some of those conversations. What did you notice about team coaching, building on what Marie-Louise and Karma and others were saying after the first breakout, and kind of give us an indication of what supports you would welcome in 2025, how this circle could help with that. So just maybe room 2, would you like to jump in on this one? And people can put something in chat if you'd like to. But room 2, do you have a spokesperson? I see Elizabeth, Katie, Sharon, or Tom. Which one is going to be the brave person to share your thoughts?
Well, either way, because we didn't nominate a spokesperson, because we were still talking when the 29 came on, and the 28 and the 27. So, but we really had a really interesting conversation. So, if the ladies want to jump in, but it became a bit of an existential question, I think, because we started as everyone would about team coaching, then step back between, we're so individualistic as a society and general, and we're starting to realize that we need the whole cross-team function, but how do we balance the team and the individuals? And we didn't come up with an answer, but it was a really, really good question. Elizabeth was saying, like, we're born as individuals, we die as individuals, our whole life is structured as an individual, and then you have family and teams around you, and we just haven't got it right yet, and we think it's going to be probably why the team coaching is so important. It's going to be a big, big challenge for us to develop a structure within an organization, or help coach within a structure in an organization that I suppose appreciates the whole team involvement, but at the same time acknowledges that we are individuals. So I know it's a big existential question, but that's probably what took us 10 minutes. I think, is that right, ladies? Did anyone else get anything else?
And you didn't solve it in 10 minutes, Tom.
Maybe one of the others did, but they're not sharing it. That's
because they're individuals, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, great. I mean, very interesting. This seems to be a very thoughtful session today. It must be the end of the year and taking stock, and maybe everyone's winding down. But great thoughts coming out. And look, we were just talking on the break that the circle can't solve some of these issues, but certainly provide a platform for discussion and debate, or was to put shine a light on some of these themes. And they may take a while to bed down or to reach agreement around them. So, but balancing act is it's an age-old problem, but it's certainly a very interesting angle to bring out today. So thanks a million, Tom, for sharing that. If anybody else wants to kind of comment on that, or maybe bring out your own comments, what about room 3? I'm just looking randomly at our list.
Room 3, yeah. Myself and Samuela and Kieran and Daniela were in that group. So we actually had a very international group. We had Irish in Ireland, Italians in Spain, and a couple of different businesses or experiences. So the issues, I suppose, what we were noticing were layoffs, the impending AI, and here already AI, developing new business models. And then that morphed us nearly into the second question, where we started talking about the type of offering of team coaching, and that there's new offerings, and how it can be hard to quantify exactly what the team coaching offering is at times. And then that whole area of metrics, return on investment, how do you convince, are you even asked, those type of things. And then I suppose what would support the experience of this group would be things like, as you mentioned earlier there, Siobhán, just the platform to discuss these issues is really important, and to tease out how other people are going about it, how to calculate or to frame an offering. And then, a clarity about what team coaching is in terms of maybe some consistent messages or some overarching messages team coaching can include or includes or whatever. And so just that type of ability to develop those thinking among like-minded individuals and practicing our new team coaches.
That came up in our session as well, building your value proposition around the benefit of team coaching. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. So that kind of practical piece that maybe balances out the esoteric, highbrow conversations that we need to have,
Absolutely.
They're philosophical, but they bring us forward, whereas we also need to be thinking about the practicalities, and that's what a lot of people are doing on a day-to-day. So yeah.
And obviously, if I missed anything there, please feel free to come in from room 3.
Thank you. So good spread. Fabio, I think we have a minute or two for any final comments, or if he wants to come in. Anything left unsaid?
I think we have another group, and then we can close up.
Yeah. Okay. Randomly then group 4. Would you like to come in?
Yes, I think that's us. So
Okay.
it was with myself, Carmel, Marie-Louise, and Neil. And a lot of the things that were said, we discussed as well. But perhaps there was also the question of what exactly is a team, since today people wear multiple hats. So that is perhaps one challenge that we'll face as well. And then also the slow adoption of team coaching is maybe partly due to senior people having to put their egos aside, leaving power, giving up some power. So there were those questions about the challenges that introducing team coaching into organizations. And we also came up with, trying to have stories and demonstrate the effect of team coaching as a way to sort of support the growth of team coaching in the corporate world. Yeah.
Interesting. And Annabelle, just I only heard half that last sentence. Stories and sorry.
Demonstrating the effect. So maybe some kind of case studies or testimonials, or just it's very hard to do, but I think people need to can understand true stories probably better than other ways in some cases. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it ties to Brendan's group and their point around
exactly.
How do we impart the benefit, and by doing that, how do we have consistent messaging, things that are impactful, pull people in, but then what are we offering? But I think that goes back to the starting point. We have to have clarity about what team coaching is vis-a-vis other team supports, and I think it's important as coaches that we also differentiate between our individual coaching practice and what we bring to team coaching. So one is I suppose the training, the experience we have as individual coaches certainly is a fantastic starting point, but how do we bring that up to a very complex level and a very different level? So that's where I think points around co-coaching came in as well. Yeah, great trends, different working environments, different ways of thinking about what teams are, what are teams. We work differently now. We've and we had to respond in the marketplace. So and ICF is obviously constantly learning how to adapt to that and support you. Some of this feedback is really helpful for us, but I know Fabio and Egle are really keen to hear from members of this group about what's going on for you, and take stock of that at the end of this year and to start thinking about 2025. So I know it's a kind of a big tour de force trip in this last hour, but I think that's been really helpful from just talking to Fabio offline. I think it's been really great to hear and sit back and listen to it, hasn't it, Fabio? It sounds like great participation, great ideas, but much more to do.
Yeah. And if I can add just before to closing, and thank you everyone, and wish you all the season holidays or Merry Christmas or Buon Natale, whatever you want. I would like to add, maybe focus on 2 important things that came up. I don't know if you noticed as well. I think one was shared from Charmaine at the beginning, is humble together. Is it similar to an oxymoron? Because how can you be humble together? I think about it. It's very powerful. I don't know if you mention accordingly or whatever. It's very, very powerful to me. And it's very important to team coaching with a co-coach, how we can be humble but at the same time effective. And Annabelle, in terms of team coaching, it's not easy, I agree, to make efficacy or say how much strong is a team coaching performance or program. But there are so many activities that any organization use or sell or offer to their team, and they are not able to manage or understand the return on investment, the return on expectation. And what I love to say instead is doesn't exist really, but it's return on feeling. So we forget how important are or is the feeling of ourselves, other people. And the last one, and I say, think about team coaches is complex, is not complicated. Complicated is a Boeing, is not my center, is a Nobel Prize, Italian Nobel Prize, Giorgio Parisi said, air Boeing is complicated, but when you know how to do it, you can do how many you want. That makes sense? But before closing, and thank you again, I would like to share with you the next steps I shared already in the chat. So have a nice, amazing time off with your families, friends, kids, parents, whatever. And we see back again with Egle the 13th of January with Team Coaching Tools. Is interesting event. And then another one in end of January, 27th, we meet another author of Dorothy Siminovich in Deepening Team Coaching Practice. And the third one will be on the 10th of February with transactional analysis in team coaching. But what is important for who they would like to have the CC units, please. You have the link in the chat. Please click on it, and you can claim for the CCU if you want. We are perfectly on time. I would like to thank you, everyone. Siobhán, if you will close it, everything, and then Carmel, see you on April. I think maybe we have to discuss the date with Egle. So for the supervision, that is very important for coaches. And yeah, Siobhán.
Thank you.
Just to say, likewise, everybody, thanks so much for your participation. You can see there's so much more we could talk about, but you brought out some really great topics today, and 2025 is going to be great because we get a chance to tease them out a bit more. Fabio, thank you for hosting today and welcoming. Been my pleasure. And I know Carmel would also value being part of today, but also linking it in April. Thank you all very much. It's been a pleasure as a participant and today just to hear your thoughts, and I look forward to 2025.
Those sessions, Siobhán, will they be sent out via email notification, or do you sign up on the website?
For what? Sorry, Matthew. Can you say again? Sorry.
For the 3 sessions you just brought up.
Every session I share now in the chat. I will share again. Is there in the website? Oh, sorry, there's a mistake. In the website, yeah, you can register for any of those that you have interested on. So there is no spamming system. You directly, what is interesting to you, you can book and you will receive all the information for the event. Okay.
Yeah, I got it. Thanks.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Egle, again, and Siobhán, Carmel, everyone. Have a nice Kieran, all the friends that I see here, and see you soon.